You have a network of people that you know, that trust you, that like you, and are most likely going to become your first customers, assuming you know how to build something that doesn't suck and you're talking to the right people. So because I've had this podcast running for 6 years, I've have access to hundreds of people that are business owners that are all on LinkedIn, because everyone should be on LinkedIn. So I've reached out to a lot of them from the more recent episodes, because as time goes on, it's harder to kind of rebuild those relationships if like you haven't talked to them in 5 years, right? So of course I started with the people that I've interviewed most recently, and some of the people that I interview now, I have an intro call with them, I do an interview with them, and then, hey, by the way, like I'd love to show you what I'm doing, because it's a natural part of the conversation between the interview and the intro process. So some of those people, and actually the guy who has his employee using it that loves it, he was someone that I interviewed like a year or so ago, and we've kept in touch. And so he was like, yeah, I'd love to hear about it. And then he was like, yeah, let's use it. So it's the people closest to you, or the people that you interact with, are the smartest people to talk to first, because they are not your friends and family. So they're not going to BS you, right? They're going to tell you the truth. And like these people that I'm working with, they're all running multi-million-dollar companies. So they are my ICP, and they know what it's like to run a company like I'm trying to build. So they can tell me what they've learned in the process of doing the same thing I'm trying to do now, but in a different industry. And so they're giving me advice, they're giving me feedback, and they want to try it. So that's like the fastest way for me to get growth. Tangential to that, I'm working with Bordy. I may have mentioned it last time.
You did.
Bordy literally booked me 40 calls in the last month. And so I've done dozens of demos with these people. The vast majority of them are business owners, fractional CMOs, agency owners, podcast hosts. And, some of them are trying it themselves. Some of them want to introduce their clients to it. So like I'm looking to move into going heavily towards talking to fractional CMOs, because they instantly understand the problem. And because they're inside of the company, even though they're an outsider, they have the trust of the CEO. So they're going to be most likely to be an internal champion for me to sell this to 5, 10, 15 companies at a time. And because I have a referral system, they can get a commission on a monthly basis for the lifetime of the relationship with the customer that they bring on board. So incentives and just building relationships, having calls with people, getting to know them, seeing how I can help them. Some of these people have their own software. I've gone on calls with them, looked at their software, given them feedback. It's all about doing things for other people and making an ask. And sometimes there's nothing I can do for somebody else, but they'll be like, oh yeah, if you know startups that need CMO stuff, like let me know, or use COO stuff, let me know. Or if you know someone that could be my customer, whatever. So it's all about relationships. Like this shit doesn't scale, but this is how you get the first 20, 50, 100 people that are absolutely in love with your product and will start telling the world about it. And that's when you have enough revenue to start doing like paid ads, like at scale, to really try to blow it up.
Yeah. Okay, so I get the plan. That's great. Have you vibe coded this startup?
So yes, but it's unfair. It's unfair to say vibe coded.
Yeah, is it? Do you feel like? Yeah. So when we say like vibe coded, it feels like a down effort. Like it puts the efforts on the down scale in terms of you not being able to like develop the whole thing. But we all know that this is just a part of the game. This is what everyone uses. So I would love to know like, what are your relationship with the platforms right now and how you're using them to help your tool?
I have been the genesis for every line of code that has been created. I solely work with Cursor, with Claude inside of Cursor, and Composer inside of Cursor. I read the code before it gets pushed. I understand the architecture that I've built. I understand the plans I've built. I understand the features I built. I understand why it's been built, because I'm the one that created all of the ideas to have them be made. So I've done all of the design, I've done all of the product, I've done all of the user's experience, because I had 5 years of experience working with a large team of people when I had my last company. Yes, it's vibe coded, but I feel like that's an unfair word, because unlike the vast majority of people who say, hey, Lovable, make me an app, I'm working 12, 13, 14 hours a day, making sure that what I'm building is extremely stable, lean, scalable, and done where the business logic and everything else is separated, where the security is in place. Like I'm SOC 2 compliant, but I don't have an audit because it's like $50,000 to get done, right? I'm GDPR compliant, but I don't have a license. I don't have an audit, right?
Yeah.
So I've done everything I can to be as private and secure as I can. I've put all of that into the application, even though it's completely unnecessary right now, because I know how to do it. And the vast majority of people that are listening to this probably don't even know what the hell I'm talking about right now. If they do, fantastic. Like, I'm not trying to diminish people's knowledge and understanding, but I think most people that vibe code something, they can't build something that is production ready and capable of generating revenue because they don't understand how to build something. They don't understand the business logic. They don't have the experience understanding the difference between branch management and environment management and like API management. Like, they don't understand how these things work. They don't have experience with bringing people on, doing calls with them, getting their feedback, fixing bugs in front of them. Like, I've done this nearly 50 times in the last 7 weeks, 8 weeks, right? I'm doing several calls a day. Sometimes it's an hour, 2-hour call. I'm sitting down doing long calls with the people that are using the software right now, right? And that's aside from all of the content I'm creating, the planning I'm doing, the outreach I'm doing, like everything. Like, I'm doing all of it, right? And so, yes, it's vibe coded, but I don't think it's fair to say that it's vibe coded.
Got it.
Because I'm an extremely capable, well-rounded generalist with enough technical experience to do something that can be a real business, where most people don't have that knowledge and experience. And I think that's the difference.
Do you think on the early stages, the product is more important than marketing?
They're equally as important. But what matters is that you have a product that people are going to care about. So I'll give you an example. I was introduced to a guy who advises startups